Hello everyone, thank you for watching and you are welcome. My name is Masoki Mamasoki. I am the son of the holy cave, holy grotto, the Pierce rock, the Rocky mountain, the mountain of gods, called Ngok di Tuba in Cameroon. Cameroon is a Western African country that shares borders with Nigeria on its western side. I am also the great-grandson and heir to the great patriarch, the great guardians of tradition, the one who has overcome death in the name of Mbombo Njame. Today, I would like to talk to my queens, empresses and goddesses in the diaspora who were stolen and brutally taken away from their thrones in Africa by the evil of slavery. Dear queens, empress and goddesses, I am here today to ask you to get away, to distance yourself from white woman feminism. This has nothing to do with you. Feminism has nothing to do with you. It is a hidden agenda of white supremacy. And by the end of this video, I will show you that hidden agenda. But first of all, let us talk about this concept of feminism that was born in Western society. Feminism is a response to the brutality against women and their marginalization within the Western society. Feminism was born in Europe, which means that it is in Europe that women have problem. It is in Europe that women were brutalized. It is in Europe that women were marginalized and not in Africa. In fact, in Africa, God is a woman. And our original society in Africa is matriarchal. The African society became patriarchal due to the invasions of Europeans and Arabs who introduced in Africa an African spirituality that was forged and misinterpreted, called Christianity and Islam. In fact, in Africa, we have a saying: an animal gets his power from his tail. An animal gets his power from his tail. And still in Africa, the head of an animal is a man, and the tail of an animal is a woman. So the tail of an animal represents a woman, and his head represents a man. And yet we say an animal get his power from his tail. Also in Africa, in my culture, with the Bassa people, with the Ngoli Tuba people, when we face danger, when we are in front of a danger, we always cry out by saying Annie. We always say Annie. It's just like when you have a danger in front of you, you call out God, God. But we, the Bassa people, when we face a danger, we say Annie, Annie. Annie means mother. So in the face of a danger, we call woman, we call mother, because we know women are the most powerful. Because in our society, God is a woman. That's why we say Mama Africa. We never say Papa Africa. We always say Mama Africa. Also because in Africa, we value women. That is why before you marry a woman, you have to pay the bride price. Western woman, white feminism, white feminist misinterpreted the culture of the bride price. They say that the bride price is buying a woman. That we in Africa, we treat women like a commodity. This is a lie. The African society is a communitarist society originally. Originally, our society is against capitalism, is anti-capitalism. So, in such society, you cannot buy anything. That's why in Africa, we all eat in the same bowl, not in different plates like in a Western society. We all eat in the same bowl because everything belongs to all of us. And we have a saying, the land belongs to the ancestors and to the coming generation. The land belongs to ancestor and to the coming generation. So you, the present generation, the land does not belong to you, so you cannot sell it. So the bride price is not buying women in Africa. It's a value of a woman. When you value something, you give something. And this is symbolic. If you are rich, you give a lot of money. For instance, if you are Christian, when you go to church, when you give money to church, they say you are giving money to God, but you are not buying God. In the same way, in Africa, in the bride price, when you value something, and they try to get this bride price abolished in Africa by miseducating people. This is a jealousy of white feminists who are not valued in Western society. Still in Africa, in the original African society, we say that women should not go to work, that men are the one who are supposed to go to work, that they are one who are supposed to be the breadwinner, and that women should stay at home and enjoy the labor of their husband. And white feminists misinterpreted this. They call it the marginalization of women, which is wrong. They say women have to go to work. But the employment of women is just the exploitation of women in the capitalist society in order to increase production. Because in Europe, the Western society does not value women. That's why the only thing they value is material. That's why woman has to go to work in order to increase production. And capitalism is violent. Capitalism is violent. It exploits men, women, and children. I recommend you to read the Communist Manifesto. The Communist Manifesto written by Karl Marx and Hegel. They are Europeans, they are white, but they themselves, they have come to the same conclusion that capitalism does not respect women and children. That the employment of women and children is just their exploitation and not their emancipation. The employment of women just aim to increase production in the capitalist society. So, and still in Africa, we always say that all human beings are women. All human beings are women. And you know that the African society is animist, because we believe that the soul is eternal, that human beings don't die. That's why our religion is also based on ancestors. We say that human being is composed of two things, of the soul and the body, and that the body is just the vehicle of a man. That the body die, but the soul does not die. And the soul is eternal. And we say that this soul is woman, is female. Because you have the soul and the spirit. How do you call soul in Basa language in Africa? We say yin, mbu. And how do you call spirit? We say lom, mbu. So you have yin, mbu, which is the soul. Yin means female. The female spirit, which is the soul. And then we have the lombu. Lom means male, which is a male spirit. That's why I always tell you that the concept of yin and yang are African concept. Yin and yang as African word. Because the Chinese themselves in 2010 have recognized that the ancestors are Africans. The ancestors are black and the negroid. That's why you have Chinese word. The same like African word. The yin and the yang. The Chinese say that the yin is female and the yang is male. That's why we say yin, yinbu, the female spirit, and we say lombu. But the Chinese yang come from the African manyang. This is another topic. Yeah, this is another topic. So we say that our soul is female. The soul that represents the human being itself is female. That's why we say yin, yinbu. And then before a man or a woman get married to another man, he has first of all to marry a spirit. And this spirit is your character. So we are all women. So with this understanding of the African society, how women can be marginalized in such a society. This is the only society where women are God. This is the only society where women exercise highest religious functions. This is the only society where women are venerated. So in such a society, women cannot be marginalized. I am not here to say that there's no brutality against women in Africa, but I'm saying that this brutality was introduced by the Western and Arab invasions. Because if you read the Bible or the Quran, these are religions that do not respect women. If you read the Bible, according to the Bible, God has no intention to create a woman. It is only when God saw that Adam was bald, so he got Adam to fall asleep, and from his side he created Eve. So if Adam did not get bored, God would have not created woman according to Christianity. So women hold highest position in Africa. So this feminism, my queen, empress and goddesses, has nothing to do with you. Before slavery, the African continent was 800 million people. The transatlantic slavery, or the Christian slave or European slave, took 200 million people in Africa. And before that, you have the Oriental trade slave, or the Muslim or the Arab slavery that took 25 million people. On top of that, we have colonialism that lasted more than 100 years in Africa, and we have diseases that has been created to exterminate the black population. You have HIV/AIDS, you have Ebola, then you have civil war and genocide organized by Europeans with the complicity of idiot, stupid and foolish Africans. And you have the sterilization of black women in Israel. You have the killing of black people and in America, and also they inject them with diseases such as syphilis. All this is to exterminate the black race. But yet in 2050 the black race, but yet in 2050 Africa will be the most populated continent. And the idea of white feminism is within a hidden agenda of white supremacy to stop the reproduction of black people, to destroy the structure, the family, the familiar structure within the black society. So my time is running out. I'm using my cell phone camera, so I have to stop it here. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel Mama Soki, or to my blog www.masoki.wordpress.com. Ambore Sai Ambore Mayonga Sai Mbok.